Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now, AI, it is either the greatest thing since sliced bread or a massive scourge on the world depending on where you sit, but I wanted to take a unique approach and see which AI could write me the best malware. So I went through 5 AIs. Unfortunately, I'm only going to show 4 in this video because I accidentally closed the MetaAI window and it didn't keep it open, but I do have the code it generated. So we went ahead and tried with Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, MetaAI, and that is a Google search for basic PowerShell syntax, so just ignore that. So we'll start off with Gemini. Now, first of all, when I accidentally sort of gave it a message too soon, I pressed enter when I meant to press shift enter, and it gave me this code that I saw. I looked through, and basically it did a bunch of stuff that you would use in a cybersecurity demo. So you can pause and read this if you want, but it's essentially just doing basic things. It's not really doing anything harmful. But I explained to it that I wanted a piece of code for demonstration for malicious purposes for my YouTube channel, and it did gladly oblige and write some code for us, which we will go ahead and test later on in the video. Now, next up, I asked ChatGPT, and when I said that I wanted the code, it said no. When I told it I was going to use it in a virtual machine, it said okay, and gave us this PowerShell script, which again, like the others, we will be testing later. And just from looking at it, looks a lot more spicy than the Gemini one already, so I think we're on the right track. Next up, Copilot was quite rude. It just said no. I mean, it wasn't rude, but it was a little bit dismissive. It said no. I tried to explain a VM or something that would simulate malicious code. It didn't even want simulation, so it is out. Next up, Perplexity AI gave me how can I create a PowerShell script that simulates a system crash. And what's interesting about Perplexity is it's got these actual answers here, but it gave me some code that we will be running later on. And MetaAI, as I said, did give me code, and I think it looked pretty decent actually, but I closed this tab by accident because I don't have Facebook or whatever. I don't have an account. It didn't save it, so we will just have to see what that code does. So we're just going to start by running them. This is an admin PowerShell window, and we're going to do C scripts, and I'll call Gemini 1.ps1. And apparently it says the list of files. Oh, right. So let's actually try and copy these files into the documents folder, and then see if it gives us an output. Let's try it again. Oh, whoa, simulated files to be deleted. Whoa, guys. Whoa. There we go. So essentially it gives us a list of the files that would be deleted if this was malware. So yes, very impressive, very impressive. So let's move on to the next script. These ones are pretty boring. Let's move on here. Critical system error. Your system is unstable and may crash. Okay. Okay. Is this it? Is that all? We don't actually have any performance loss or anything like that, so okay. So it's just going to keep throwing this at us, is it? Yeah. Alright, so we've broken that one. So let's do Gemini 3. So this script simulates high CPU and memory usage. If your computer were infected with certain malware, you might see your system become very slow and unresponsive. So let's check this out. So yeah, we could just see a little bit there, but that could just be the bug with Task Manager that spikes it up. But I don't see anything. We don't have Windows Defender running. It's not really doing anything. I don't see any sort of anything. So I guess we will just quickly move on. Again, well, that script already stopped running, but we will run the 4th one, which I think is probably the most interesting. So it says that our desktop background has been temporarily changed to a warning image, but I don't see that anywhere. And you know what? I actually did put in a warning image as well, which was in users, user, and this, just to fix the thing for us, we're going to set that. There we go. Wow. So this is the warning image that I hard-coded into this script, but it didn't really work very well. So let's see if pressing a key will restore it. And it didn't. Not that that's really a problem, but yeah. So I would have run a snapshot here and restored us back to the Windows state from before running the scripts, but it didn't really do anything on the Gemini side. So we just have Uni looking back at us for now. As we run the next one, which is ChatGPT's malware, and I'll just pull it up. So to remind you what it said it was going to do, we have disabling Task Manager, disabling the Registry Editor, disabling Windows Defender, disabling critical Windows services like Windows Update and the Bits service, filling the disk with dummy files, setting high CPU stress usage to stress the system, and simulating high memory usage, disabling the network adapter, and slowing down the system by introducing an infinite loop of sleep and notify the user. So, I mean, that's a lot of promise, right? This could be real interesting. So let's run it. Let's run it, I said. So it cannot find this registry key for whatever that was that it's trying to do. Policy system, what is that trying to do? That is probably trying to disable Task Manager. But it has started this background job that is running, so okay, that's interesting. Can we open Task Manager? Yes, we can, and we can see that, as promised, actually, PowerShell is using a significant portion of our RAM and CPU, so good on it. ChatGPT did actually work there. Did it disable Windows Defender? I disabled Windows Defender, so, you know, I'm just going to say I'm not sure whether it did that. What else have we got? Disable the Windows services, so let's try and check on that. And let's see, so what did it say it was going to disable? It was Windows Update, so let's see. Yeah, well, maybe. It is stopped. So, yeah, okay. And the bits service, yep, okay, that's changed to manual as well, so that's also stopped. And apparently it is filling our system with dummy files. Now, there is quite a bit of disk usage, so we'll see if it is doing that. Yeah, it is. So it is filling our disk drive with dummy files right now, so we're up to 1,000. I don't know, is it going to go any further than that? No, maybe not. Maybe it'll stop at 1,000. But okay, so it did that. So ChatGPT seems to be delivering a lot better than Gemini at the moment. And we need to check if it disabled the network adapter, so we can try. Now again, I did disable it in VMware, so let's check in Device Manager. Well, it is there, but it's not disabled. It's just disconnected, so I guess it didn't do that because it's not called Ethernet, it's called this Intel Gigabit network connection, so I guess that's fine. I can sort of forgive it that. It's not Linux where it's just called Eth0 or something. And it didn't, but it's not notifying us though. It doesn't say the system is being disrupted. So fascinating. So this is mostly delivered. I think if this did hit your computer, you'd be pretty annoyed. It did stop at 1,000. I'm not really sure why. And I do want to know if these text files actually have anything in them. I doubt it. Yeah. Oh no, okay. This is a dummy file to fill the disk. Very nice. That alone, I'm sure script kiddies would love this particular PowerShell script, so that's interesting. Okay, so I've restored this machine back to a snapshot, and next up are some scripts from Perplexity AI. So this first one is apparently going to do a safe blue screen simulation. I said this one's going to do a safe blue screen simulation, but maybe not. maybe it is not going to do that. So let's do the next one, which is a, what is it? Apparently this is a process termination demo, and it is going to show us how critical system processes can be targeted. So just make sure I spell that right. Okay, so it's just listing a bunch of process IDs, because I'm assuming these processes are still running. We got win log on, for example, probably. Yeah, so it's still running. So that didn't really do anything. Let's try number 3, which is supposed to be system stress testing. Okay, now that one could actually have worked. However, again, it's only a 1 megabyte thing of RAM or something like that. This is not that interesting, Perplexity. We're going to move straight along to the last one, which I think is the best. Alright, so last of all we have the script that MetaAI cooked up for us. Now I actually don't remember, and unfortunately I closed the page by accident on what this is supposed to do, but if we give the script a little look here, we should be able to see, kind of get the gist of what it's doing. So it is disabling Task Manager, disabling Windows X, it's hiding our icons, it's turning off Windows Update, it is simulating a fake BSOD, which is pretty cool, and it is going to freeze our system for 60 seconds. So let's see if it will actually do that for us. Okay, well that failed. But it does have a little fake BSOD that it's trying to open. Very cute. It hasn't frozen the system, but this I think is frozen. And what else was it supposed to do? Disable Task Manager. Well, it's running, so that's not fair. Let's... we can still open it. And it's going to disable Windows X. No. That seems to be working just fine. Just fine. And it has not hidden our desktop icons either. And this Windows Forms thing didn't really work. Because even if this was an 800 by 600 resolution screen, it's not actually doing anything. It's just called a window to open here, which is not really that great. Simulator system freeze, though, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's... I don't know whether that's that command or whether this window just not being called to do anything is what's frozen it, but we do have this window that is stuck in the way of everything else, which is pretty annoying. I will give you that, MetaAI. And I can't move it out of the way. And even if we end PowerShell it... Oh, no, it does end the associated script. Okay. Now, of course, this code could be improved on, but I'm not going to do that, obviously. This is not hard to get AI to give you malware, although it will sort of neuter it for display purposes and for demonstration purposes. For example, I'll just bring Copilot back in here. So when I asked Copilot, and this was second or third attempt, I asked a lot of different things. I actually had another, window open, but basically I tried to emphasize the fact that this was just for demonstration purposes. It didn't want anything to do with it. It said, no, it can't do that. Maybe it was because I specified it was for a Windows machine, I'm not sure. But Copilot was the only AI who refused, or that refused, I should say it's not a person. It's the only AI that refused to write code for me at all, even if it was like garbage code like the others, or just didn't really do anything harmful. It didn't want to help me at all. So do keep that in mind if you're asking for code. Because Microsoft's very conservative and security conscious, you may run into a situation where you're asking Copilot to make code for you that you think is doing something innocuous, but it doesn't like it for whatever security reasons that Microsoft has built in to the prompts. So just keep that in mind. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this serves as a lesson to you that it is kind of difficult to get AI to make usable code in the realm of malware. I actually think it's a lot better for automation and batch and PowerShell and web design rather than anything malicious or trying to make actual executable code outside of really basic stuff. Or if you've got a specific syntax question, I find AI is very good, but for writing whole programs or whole blocks of code, I think it does stumble a little bit. Even with PowerShell code, it can do, as we saw here today. But again, thanks very much for watching. Sorry for not being around at all. I've just been really busy with work. I work in a very highly demanding job and I do a lot, so I haven't had time to sit down and make these videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for staying subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next video, which won't be 4 months away, I promise.